so great to see people's faces when they're gonna do
It's
this
actually
thing.
like blowing my mind
So that's
that we were able
that's
to
the guy
create
that's
the sensation of
up
an
there on
exit
the
point.
cliff when you jump.
So you
Good
put
idea.
on a full suit?
Yes.
Okay.
Because you need it.
Whoa, what? I don't like that.
There's only about 800 to 1,000 people that do this in reality. So
The base jumping?
With the
base
wingsuit,
jumping,
Yeah, well, because they died. Yes,
Yeah.
that's why.
it fluctuates between 800 and 1,000
Yeah.
because of that.
Yeah. But this is the way to go. It's like you're basically flying and then it's sudden death. I would definitely, that's my favorite. That's what I plan to do.
Maybe I'll pick it up when I'm
87,
80.
87,
Yeah.
yeah.
There we go.
But you can practice here. That's what you built.
See, I'll be ready. Alright.
I'm to a point like, why do it in reality when it's the same in virtual reality?
That's true. That's true.
Off the cliff.
Welcome to Imagining the Metaverse, a podcast where we talk about all things like Metaverse, decentralization, Web3, just fun things like that. We're getting a little bit more into the VR world today. First I should introduce us. So I'm Nicki Sanders, and I'm here with Scott Paul.
Hello, hello.
And yeah, we're here today with James Jensen, and he is the CEO and co-founder of Jump Limitless Flight. Is that right?
Yeah.
That's what it's called?
Yep.
This, which I just learned, is like a base jumping simulator that looked extremely real and frightening. So we're going to really get into that today. So were you always like a VR enthusiast, or like where did this come about?
I wouldn't say always. I owned a creative agency, and we did a lot of feature film work. And so we were working in virtual sets and 3D green screens with actors composited in real-time sets and stuff like that. And that's kind of where my fascination of like mixed reality came in, because I was doing it for film, and we were matching physical elements with digital elements. And I basically had like this. Yeah. I basically had this Tron moment where I was like, I want to be inside the computer, right? Like I want to be inside of there where everything's possible. Out here, there's like physical structure and things like that, but inside of a digital world, you can make it anything you want.
That's true. That's awesome. Are you a base jumper?
No.
So why jumping off of cliffs?
It's kind of a fun conversation around how Jump came to be, because I was having a lot of success with the Void doing virtual reality simulations.
Oh, I went there.
Yeah.
You did?
Oh yeah, like years ago. The backpack thing.
Yes.
Put the backpack on. It was like pretty heavy. That was awesome. I think I did like the Ghostbusters.
Yes, the
Oh my
Ghostbusters was
God.
the best. I finally had
It's
my
gotta be
Stay
5
Puft
years
Marshmallow
ago?
Man experience, where you defeat Stay Puft, and then you smell the marshmallow and everything, and then you're like,
I did not
You did
do
Stay
that,
Puft
and you did that.
I did it.
Yeah.
We did
I
it for like
am
a
so
work
jealous.
thing. A bunch of us just went together, and it was wild. Like the walking across the board thing, and the wind's blowing at you. We were like,
yeah.
and this is years ago, before this was really a thing.
Yep.
We had a
It was,
blast.
wasn't insane
Yeah.
how good it was.
It
for you.
was so good. We had so much fun.
I don't write
And
much or
especially
blog.
with the guns with it too. Like,
Yes, exactly. That was one of my favorite times in the Star Wars experience, when you reach out and you grab the gun and it was real.
yeah.
You were 100% there, like present in the moment. You were inside Star Wars when that happened. It was really cool. So that's like a glimpse of what is the potential is, right, that I got to see there. But I was having success with the Void, and I was out on a camping trip with Marshall Miller. He's my buddy. It's a pro wingsuit base jumper.
Okay.
And we just got the projector up to show a video to the kids, and I was loading up, getting everything working. I played one of my Void videos, and it was cool. And everybody's like, "Oh, cool! The Void's great. That's awesome." And then Marshall comes out of his trailer with his like SD card. He's like, "Let me show you some stuff."
Some
He
real
throws
life
his
video.
SD card in and like shows off that he's, his trip out to Sweden where he was like wingsuit base jumping. I was like, "Oh man, that's so cool."
You got out cool.
I want to do that. And I
Yeah.
swear my wife was like right here, and she's like, "There's no way in hell you're ever doing that."
No.
Yeah.
And at that moment, I was like, okay, well, VR is made to have experiences that are not possible for you. Like, we've taken people to Ghostbusters, we've taken them to Star Wars. What if we did experiences that were real? What if we did something that was like wingsuit base jumping?
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, this is my path to selfishly wingsuit base jump without any risk. And then that's kind of where the conversation and where the idea came from was that, and then it evolved a lot over time to something that's even more meaningful than just entertainment.
Would you consider like, is like Jump, is that like a VR? Is it AR? Like what kind of reality is it?
I love that you bring up that question. So we do use VR, and for the most part, the world is qualified. VR is like visuals and audio is pretty much it. Like there's some physical stuff that's coming in,
Yeah.
and so we do physical sensations that are associated and synchronized with visuals and audio. So scent, wind, heat, vibration, and then also other visuals and stuff like that. So what happened is with the Void, I did that because I thought it would be fun. I'm like, oh, this will be cool to add in physical sensations. It'll be like, you'll really be there. And I thought that was just entertainment, be really cool. What I didn't realize would happen, I guess, didn't anticipate, was when you provide enough physical evidence to your body that the visuals and audios are true, for some reason, like you cross over to like memory space. At least that's what I'm seeing is because when you watch a movie or you play a video game or something like that, you're still separated from the experience because there's a screen. You're not feeling any physical sensation of what's going on. And so your brain's like, oh, that's separate from me.
Yeah.
But when you start introducing physical sensations that your body's anticipating, the hypothesis is you start storing memories the same way that you do this. You do going to Hawaii or whatever, because it's the same, right? And so
Whoa.
the idea is like we kind of saw a glimpse of that with the Void because we were introducing so many synchronized physical effects.
Yeah.
And people are coming out like just full hyper present in the moment. I was like, wow, we really need to take advantage of this. And that's where jumps kind of take it to the next level.
Yeah. Is that
so I call it hyper reality.
When people are hyper reality.
Mm-hmm.
When people are doing like with that, like it's becoming like really real. Do you see that as a good thing or a bad thing for humanity?
Absolutely a good thing. And this kind of like goes to like future vision stuff. But if you don't mind, I'll just go right there.
Dude, riff. Let's go.
So I saw this like vision of our future, like with grandkids, my great grandkids, and to wingsuit base jump in reality is a 5-year journey and about $30,000, and you have to risk your life.
Yeah.
So not possible for James Jensen or Scott Paul or something. I mean, maybe like you could divert your life and go do that.
If I get crazy enough, and I think I'm almost there, James, I might be in Sweden next
week. So it's like this massive bar, right? And there's a bunch of other things that are like that. And I would have to have like a life that was directed toward doing that one thing.
Yeah.
And what I saw in the future is my great-grandkids and even my grandkids will have lifetimes of experiences within one lifetime just through hyper-realistic simulations, if that makes sense. And so if that is possible, when that's possible, like what kind of human beings are they going to be when they're my age, when they've had, 20 lifetimes of experiences doing X, Y, Z, because they didn't have to, you know what I mean? Like
100%.
Yeah, without ever getting hurt.
No, but I want to be in another life. I didn't really pursue ski jumping in the way I wanted. Right. I didn't pursue motocross.
Ooh, that'd be a good one.
And I if I could get into motocross or ski jumping again in my 50s after ACL surgery and everything, and actually get the same sensation and try to do the twist and compete in some fun senior games for ski jumping and for I would do that.
Yeah,
and you're saying I can have that whole nother life. I want to be a musician. I want to pretend I actually know how to play the guitar. I can't. But I would love to be in front of people.
A big crowd.
Yes,
yeah.
Of real people. That'd be
I wonder.
amazing.
I want them to do like a study. I wonder if they already have. I wonder if if you get the same like endorphin rush from like the real life compared to the
he loves this
like
one.
virtual, because that's when like okay, your knees are bad, you can't do ski jumping anymore. And then what if you were ski jumping your whole life and all of a sudden you can't? I've met like people who can't snowboard anymore around here, and they get super depressed. Like it's hard to like not have that outlet. What if they can then do it, but without killing their bodies?
What if it's happening?
Absolutely.
And then they can like still get those endorphins.
Yeah, if you dig into jump, if you go to our website and you click on about and you go down to research, you'll find that there's several layers to what jump is. On the surface level, it's an entertainment-based company that's selling tickets for wingsuit-based jumping.
Sure.
I have a whole science board around neuroscience and psychology that will be doing research on flow state, which flow state is the highest state that they found that a human being can be at that performs at such a high level. It's what professional athletes get to, what they train Marines to get into, artists. Snoop Dogg, entrepreneurs, people that perform at a higher level. They have this ability to get into flow state and perform at that level. And the research we'll be doing is around jump, because the hypothesis is when you jump and you're in the simulation, even when we were doing with the Void, that was the opportunity, is when you get into those hyper-realistic simulations, you're kind of yanked out of your reality and you're, don't want to say forced, but you're very susceptible to be hyper present because you're not worrying about the future or the past or why your wife's pissed or what business meeting you got to get to. You're hyper present and you're hyper focused, and that's called flow state.
Yeah.
So the hardware, the simulation puts a person in flow state. You have 100% of their attention, and so we can measure that. We can potentially measure that, and then make the experience take advantage of that moment and provide a lot of learning at a very deep level.
I believe it. 2 years ago is when I first saw just what he was going for, and I'm like, that's going to put Utah on the map. If it happens, which it will, and if it's even, I mean, like Void had already happened. That was a global sensation. Those were all over the world. And if this can happen, like Void, it's going to put Utah on the map for study, science, all these things going into VR. Because you already have, there's godfathers of this industry. James, we have one in our state. And that's like, we should be really leaning in on making sure that everyone knows about this. Go try it, see what's happening there, because it is sensational, unlike anything you will do in the next few years. Your first time going through it, just like the Ghostbuster experience.
Yeah, dude, I remember that forever. We still talk about it sometimes,
of
like
course.
some of the buddies
it's
who did it.
It's part of a memory. Like try to remember like the details of a movie that you really, really enjoyed.
Yeah.
It's hard.
Like, don't really. You remember moments, but you don't remember like how you felt.
No, we all remember like kicking boxes and like it was too fun. We were like, this is great. Yeah.
So James, when is VR like I feel like we got with 4K or Retina screens, where it's like it's even the more they try to add numbers to the end of it, my visual eyes can't see much different.
Yeah.
On a screen or the resolution of I can no longer see pixels on a phone. I remember the first ones I had did. Are we there with VR hardware where it's basically the res is there, or is it what are the inventions to like actually have me doubting that VR is on my head right now? Like, right? So you could put something there and like, am I seeing a made up scene, or is this
how good is it?
Yeah.
How good is it?
Where are we at?
Yeah, that's an interesting question when you think about it. And I just showed this clip in my last meeting. Do you guys know Richie's Plank? That VR experience?
Yeah. Everyone would film
You
themselves
literally go-
jumping off it.
You go up an elevator
Yeah.
and you walk out on a plank, and the city looks completely fake.
Yeah.
Like, resolution,
Yeah,
detail
I've done it.
of the
It is
experience,
fake. It's
whatever.
polygons,
right?
and yeah.
A person will literally like jump and fly through their television.
Yeah, it's all over the video.
Because it's so real to their bodies. Like,
because it's real, and then they get to this belief space, and then they like jump. And so, does resolution, does the realism actually even
it doesn't matter
when you're inside of what I consider a belief system? It's not. I mean, it does matter to an extent, but if you already can put a headset on somebody and go into a fake environment, and they think they can fly, and they jump through their television, like that's pretty heavy.
Is VR going to be part of our daily lives? Like that's always my question in the future.
It is, but when? No.
So you think yes, for sure. It's a when.
It's a win, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I've been talking about this too a little bit.
And it's not VR, it's AR. It's something different, right?
Yeah, you're right.
AR, VR is absolutely going to be part of your life. It'd be like, hey, is working out or running a part of our lives? Yes, it is. As far as what I'm seeing, VR has been mostly created like, oh, it's this escapism that you've got to go do to escape reality, right?
Exactly.
Where if you're looking at it from the perspective that I'm seeing, it's more of like a belief system. It's a training room for your mind. It's a training room for your perception of reality where you come back. So it's more like going to the gym. Like I go to the gym to work out this body, to have a better life, to be able to do more things in reality. I don't go to the gym to live in the gym.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And that's the shift that I think you're going to start seeing, which hopefully Jump leads that charge, is VR's true purpose is more like that. It's going into a belief system, going into an experience where then you can take information and a new mind, if you will, into reality and have an amplified experience in physical reality. That's where I'm seeing like the whole thing kind of shifting.
Wow.
Is like this weight training room for your mind, where you go there and you work out and there's people there and you hang out and you have experiences together, but those experiences give you more information to have a better reality, because nobody wants to leave reality. You just want to be better.
So,
you want
so
to
you see it as an
achieve more.
enhancement, not the people who are
Absolutely, yeah.
really like in there.
I don't think you're in there. I think some people will be fully immersive, but when Apple and others come out with the mixed reality, so you're living in this world, but with the layers, things coming up over audio, like those glasses I have, like they're just seconds away getting their batteries right size. I have the heads-up display. And now you're kind of going with shades. Like you can go back and forth between two realities really quickly. I think that's more of the future. That's much more adaptable than putting on these headsets that you feel blinded. Even the newer headsets have a camera version. They completely have made it so you can see right through them. They have a button where you can now walk with the headset on in the real world because they're displaying it fast enough. So I think you're going to see
ridiculous.
You look ridiculous, but that's where people are going. I'm seeing them on planes now. People are people are using their headsets on planes.
I would die
because they have a workstation. You know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah,
you've seen it.
Yeah,
they have workstation. You can do your whole workstation, so you can be doing really complex setups when you don't have any of that space. To even open a computer on a small little plane. Now you have a full whatever you want accessible right there, and you
see it more as becoming like integrated in our daily lives, just for like mundane tasks.
I think it gets integrated via a new product that's not out yet. It's going to be a daily life when it's as common as the watch, or his Oura ring.
Yeah,
it's going to be VR is going to be a wearable.
Just a wearable. So like I think we were hearing about like contact lenses.
You
think you just pop
glasses.
It in? All of a sudden, I can see like people's names and things about them, so I don't have to actually remember anything.
Yeah, you should not have to remember your brain.
It's definitely going to be a learning experience. I'll tell you that. More information isn't necessarily better. In Jump, we had this heads-up display. We're like, oh, it's be awesome. We want people to feel like they're Iron Man. We'll put all this cool stuff in there, their speed and their angle of attack and whatever else is going on.
Yeah.
And we put this rad display in there that were actually the guys that created the Iron Man interfaces. We used the same UI group to do this.
I remember
and we put it in there, and it made people so sick because it was a sensory overload. They're trying to fly, and they're looking at their close information and then distance information, and it just made people very, very sick.
So they actually were physically nauseous from it?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And so I think this whole idea that it's going to be completely integrated, it's a fairly long path. And it's not that this technology won't be there. It will be there. It's like how much information is good information, what's valuable to the person, what's meaningful to the person, instead of just a ton of stuff, right? Instead of information, it's like it's better experience to not have that information and just be present than to have all that information, right?
Oh,
So we're gonna have this. I think we're gonna have this battle, like rad technology, and like I just want to be here with you right now.
Yeah.
And
I'm already
rad technology needs to go away for a second. And so I don't know, like this idea that we're all like walking around with this permanently affixed hardware on our head.
Oh, it's happening.
I think that's going to take a while. I know
Mr.
it's going to happen.
Scott will do it first.
No, I know it's going to happen. I just don't know in my generation if I will be acclimated to the idea of having a piece of hardware, because I'll be used to this. I grew up in a different generation.
It won't come from our generation.
Yeah.
This invention is going to come from someone super accustomed. It's going to come from the goose thing.
Goose noodle?
The 7-year-old goose noodle. We had a good interaction with the goose noodle in VR chat.
Very normal.
Kind of like a eel flying,
nice.
and 7-year-old kid.
Like a baby voice.
He's nice. I think it was a he, right?
Yeah.
She? Okay.
Who knows?
Well, we don't know. But I think that will invent the technology that.
Yeah, they'll be used to it, right?
It'll be very native.
Commonplace.
Yeah, they won't want to leave their goose noodle form.
Well, this was awesome. James, thanks so much for coming and talking to us and dealing with the shenanigans and our weird questions. I'm really excited. Now, I'm going to take you up on it, Scott. I have to go try out this Jump thing and see if I vomit. And we really want to give a shout out to Silicon Slopes TV for producing this. Big thanks to you guys. And this podcast will be available on Apple Podcasts, on Spotify, and on YouTube if people want to watch the video of our smiling faces.
Yeah.
But this was awesome. Thanks, guys, and we'll see you on the next one.
All right.
Adios.
Bye.